Luna, Orion and Nova stood breathless. Before them, a giant maze shimmered. Its walls pulsed with an eerie green light. The pathway ahead twisted and turned, disappearing into the distance.
Amazing.
It's alive.
Nova, ever the brave one, stepped forward.
We have to find the center. That's the only way to break the curse.
The air crackled with anticipation. They were ready for anything, or so they thought. As they ventured deeper, the maze shifted around them. Pathways disappeared and reappeared. It was like walking through a dream.
We're going in circles.
Suddenly, Luna gasped.
Look!
On a moss-covered stone, a symbol glowed. It matched one on the orb Luna carried, a gift from a wise sage.
The orb, it's a guide.
They touched the orb to the stone. The path ahead shimmered, then solidified. The maze was testing them. They had to be smarter than the maze itself. They came to a fork. 3 paths, each marked with a glowing symbol. One was a sword, another a book, and the last, a gear.
We should split up. Each path is a test.
Orion, his face pale, found his courage.
The sword, that's mine.
He took the path of courage. Luna, ever the scholar, nodded.
The book calls to me.
The path of wisdom awaited. Nova, with a determined glint in her eye, stepped onto the path of ingenuity. They trusted each other. It was their only hope. They faced their trials alone. Orion battled illusions, facing his deepest fears. Luna solved ancient riddles, her mind racing. Nova built a bridge across a chasm, her ingenuity tested. One by one they emerged into a central chamber, exhausted but triumphant.
We did it!
Relief flooded her features.
We trusted each other.
His voice stronger now, Nova smiled.
Together we can overcome anything.
The maze had tested them, and they had emerged stronger, their bond unbreakable.
Entrapped, Orion and the Cavern of Fire. Orion stumbled. He cursed under his breath. The air hung thick and hot. The ground was uneven beneath his feet. He was trapped. He looked around. Glowing cracks snaked across the cavern walls, veins of molten fire in the rock. The air shimmered with heat. The stench of sulfur filled his nostrils. Orion coughed. He was in the heart of a volcano. A low growl echoed through the cavern. Orion froze. His hand instinctively went to the sword at his belt. His pulse quickened. Fear coiled in his gut. This was his test. The labyrinth of trials had challenged him with fear. He had to face it. The growl grew louder. A hulking figure emerged from a pool of molten rock. The creature was made of lava. It had glowing cracks across its body. Sharp, jagged spikes protruded from its back and shoulders. The lava monster roared. It lunged at Orion. Orion rolled out of the way. He drew his sword. The creature slammed into the spot where he had been standing a moment ago. Molten rock splattered. Fear threatened to overwhelm Orion. He had to focus. He had to be smart. This creature was powerful. He couldn't defeat it with brute force. He had to be cunning. Orion studied the monster. He noticed its movements were predictable. It relied on its size and strength. It was slow. Orion could use that to his advantage. He took a deep breath. He pushed down the fear. He had to be faster than the monster. He had to be smarter. The lava monster attacked again. Orion dodged. He waited for the right moment. He struck. His sword found a chink in the creature's molten armor. He aimed for its glowing heart. The monster howled in pain. It stumbled back. Orion pressed his attack. He moved with speed and precision. He dodged the monster's attacks. He struck at its weak points. He was no longer afraid. He was in control. With a final desperate roar, the lava monster collapsed. It dissolved into a pool of cooling magma. Orion stood over his defeated foe. He was exhausted but exhilarated. He had done it. He had faced his fear and emerged victorious. He had conquered not only the monster but also himself. A sense of peace washed over him. He had passed the test. He had proven his courage. He sheathed his sword. He was ready for whatever lay ahead. A hidden door in the cavern wall opened. A cool breeze washed over him. Orion smiled. His journey through the labyrinth continued. Luna cautiously entered the room. It was unlike any she had ever seen. Strange mechanical devices lined the walls, gears turning and steam hissing. In the center stood a giant machine, dormant and dark. Instead of fear, Luna felt a thrill. This was her element, a puzzle to solve, a challenge to overcome. Her fingers itched to get started. This wasn't just any ordinary machine, it was a marvel of ancient engineering waiting to be awakened. Luna unbuckled her toolkit. It was filled with tools she had crafted herself, each one designed for a specific purpose. Examining the machine, she saw a jumble of gears, wires, and pipes. It was complex but not insurmountable. She could fix this. She traced the pathways of energy, her mind piecing together the machine's function. A missing gear here, a loose wire there. Her nimble fingers worked with precision, tightening, connecting, and adjusting. With a final click, Luna slotted the last gear into place. The machine shuddered, gears whirring back to life. A soft hum filled the room, growing louder with each passing second. Then, with a burst of brilliant light, the machine sprang to life. The room was bathed in a warm, pulsating glow emanating from the heart of the machine. Luna, her face lit by the light, couldn't help but grin. She had done it. The challenge had been conquered. As the light subsided, a pedestal rose from the floor. On it lay a gleaming key, pulsing with the same energy as the machine. Suddenly, she heard the hurried footsteps of her friends, Leo and Maya, rushing towards her. "You did it, Luna!" Maya exclaimed, her voice filled with relief and awe. Leo, always the quieter one, simply nodded, his eyes wide with admiration. Luna, beaming, joined her friends. Together, they reached for the key, the first key to the heart of infinity. They knew this was just the beginning. Many more challenges awaited them, but with their combined skills and unwavering friendship, they were ready to face whatever lay ahead.